Does relocation really help NFL franchises? My name is Alex Suchu, and today this is what we shall be exploring. What is the problem? Well, lately there's been an increase in the amount of talk of moving one of three NFL franchises to a new city. Mostly the city is Los Angeles due to its big population and ability to support an NFL franchise. These teams would be the Oakland Raiders, the San Diego Chargers, and the St. Louis Rams. Many people, however, wonder if relocation is actually a good option for these teams, who are all in old buildings that no longer can keep up with the NFL's times. This relocation would require the teams to dump a whole fan base in order to move out to a new fan base that is not guaranteed to join their team, while it could also bring about possible increase in total revenue, which would be great for any owner. What did I do? Well, I looked at two of the most recent NFL relocations, and I looked at the 5 years before and 5 years after those relocations. I focused on two aspects of those teams. I focused on the winning percentage and the total revenue that was generated by the teams. My hypothesis was that I did not believe that total revenue or winning percentage would be helped by relocating an NFL franchise. I believe this because I think it's the front office of the team, not the fans supporting it or what city they are in, that actually determines how the team is going to perform on the field and how much money they are actually going to make. I found my data from a few different places. For the total revenue, I found it on Excel sheets that were emailed to me by Professor Mullins. The win percentage for the current NFL franchises I actually found on the team's websites. And for the win percentage of the old franchises, I looked at the NFL website to find that. The first data that we're going to look at is the winning percentage for the Cleveland Browns Baltimore Ravens relocation. As you can see, in the 5 years before the Browns left Cleveland, they had an average of .45 win percentage, and in the 5 years after the Ravens were in Baltimore, they also had a .45 win percentage. This means that the relocation really did not help the win percentage of the franchise. Here I looked at the revenue generated by the Browns/Ravens franchise. In the 5 years before they moved to Baltimore, the Cleveland Browns generated $312.1 million worth of total revenue. Now, after the relocation, before the third season that the Baltimore Ravens were a franchise, the NFL signed a new TV deal, which generated more revenue for the teams. This helped the Baltimore franchise gain well over $200 million more in the 5 years that I looked at than the Browns did in their 5 years that I looked at. Now here I looked at the win percentage for the Oilers-Titans franchise and its relocation. And during the last 5 years of the Houston Oilers, there was only a .48 win percentage. Now, unlike the Browns-Ravens relocation, when the Oilers moved to Tennessee, they actually were more successful in their new city, posting a .61 win percentage in their first 5 years. Here I have the revenue data for the Oilers-Titans relocation. just like the other relocation involving the Browns-Ravens franchise, this one also includes the jump in total revenue starting with the 1998 season, which is most likely due to the new TV deal that was signed by the NFL. Now, as you can see, there is a slight jump in the total revenue between the 1996 and 1997 seasons, the first and last seasons of in each city. But there is no way that little amount of revenue jump can give you the reason to relocate. My findings for the Browns-Ravens franchise's relocation are that the win percentage was not affected at all by the franchise moving from Cleveland to Baltimore. This is because the last 5 years that they were in Cleveland, they posted a .4504 win percentage, while their first 5 years being in Baltimore, they posted a .45 win percentage, which is the same over the course of 5 years. The team performed no better on the field. While at the same time, the team did pull in a lot more money in Baltimore. They would have done the exact same thing if they were still in Cleveland, all because of the new TV deal that the NFL had just signed before the 1998 NFL season. The second part to my findings come from the Oilers-Titans franchise relocation. Unlike the Browns-Ravens relocation, the win percentage actually changed between the two cities. The Oilers' last 5 years, their average win percentage was .4876. While after they moved to Tennessee, their average win percentage increased to .6128% over the course of their first 5 years in Tennessee. While the Titans also won more games, they made more money. This probably would have not been the case if there had not been the big TV deal that was signed before the 1998 season, just like with the Browns-Ravens relocation. Now, going back to my hypothesis, in the beginning I did not believe that the relocation of a franchise would help the winning percentage post-relocation, and I also did not believe that it would help generate more revenue for those franchises. In the end, I've decided to accept this hypothesis, as the Browns-Ravens team did not have a better win percentage in their first 5 years in Baltimore than they did in their final 5 years in Cleveland. And the Titans-Oilers franchise, they did. So if one team got it and the other didn't, it wasn't based on moving cities. And both teams generated more revenue after moving cities. However, this can partially be attributed to a TV deal that was signed before the 1998 NFL season. How does this relate to our class? Well, in our class, it is an econ class, a sport econ class, and total revenue is part of economics. And in this project, I looked at the total revenue of 2 different franchises from the 5 years before and 5 years after they relocated to different cities. Some possible recommendations for other research would be to look at all, not just these 2, of the relocations in NFL history. This could help by seeing if there is a trend in winning percentage or total revenue generated by these teams that relocate cities. Another thing I could look at that would be in other sports, not just the NFL. Would it help another franchise in a completely different league to change cities. And the final thing that could be looked at on top of this would be the total revenue that, not the total revenue generated, but the revenue minus the money that came out of the TV deal. This could give a better look at how the team did by bringing in, by their gate and by bringing in merchandise and concessions and everything like that. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for looking at this. I enjoyed your class, and have a good break. Thank you.